Are you looking for the best gaming CPU? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best gaming CPU on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Intel Core i5-12400F. If you're looking to build a gaming PC on a very tight budget, the Intel Core i5-12400F is a bargain CPU. The price is amazing for the gaming performance on offer. Unlike newer budget CPUs, such as the Core i3-13100, the Core i5-12400F has 6 P-cores under its heat spreader, rather than just 4, giving it plenty of raw horsepower in games. Don't be fooled by the 12 in this CPU's model number either. The Alder Lake architecture used by this chip is very similar to the Raptor Lake architecture used in Intel's latest 14th gen CPUs, and we've found it more than capable when it comes to gaming. Unlike AMD's AM5 CPUs, you can run the Core i5-12400F with your old DDR4 memory if you have some in an existing system, and it will happily run an old motherboard with a B660 chipset. With its TDP of just 65W, this CPU also doesn't need a massive AIO cooler to keep it in check. A decent air cooler will do the job fine. There are a few catches. One is that this F model has no integrated GPU, but that's not an issue if you buy a separate graphics card for gaming. It also doesn't have any of Intel's E-cores, which provide a boost in multi-threaded work, but these are largely irrelevant when it comes to performance in most games. The peak clock speed of just 4.4 GHz could also be higher, and this isn't a K-series CPU either, so you can't officially overclock it with the multiplier, but you can't have everything at this price. This is the best option if you want a decent gaming CPU for the cheapest price possible. At number 2. Intel Core i7-13700K. The 13700K is something of a champion for streamers and creatives alike, offering an all-in-one solution that doesn't carry an overly premium price tag. Featuring 16 cores and 24 threads, the chip is more than capable of handling real-time 120 frames per second encoding using the X264 Slowwork preset. This is especially useful if you have a Radeon graphics card, but it can act as a great replacement for NVENC on GeForce GPUs, should the need arise. The chip can keep up with top-tier pixel pushers too, maintaining solid maximum, average, and minimum frames per second. It's plenty useful for exporting and editing VODs too, boasting fast export times and rendering capabilities in Adobe Suite applications such as Premiere Pro and After Effects. At number 3. AMD Ryzen 9 7950X. You'll find the AMD Ryzen 9 7950X at the top of Team Red's latest processor series. In this chip lies the very best that Zen 4 has to offer, with the flagship hiding some surprising tricks up its sleeve. While this chip doesn't boast a higher core or thread count compared to previous generation offerings, they are clocked much higher. This not only translates into higher frames per second but also greatly improves performance in just about every application that can make use of multiple CPU cores. Its greatest trick, however, is its Eco mode, which can force the processor to draw a maximum of 65W. Even with such low power consumption, it can still trade blows with top-tier processors. Naturally, you'll get the most out of the chip while running at its standard 170W TDP, but it makes the prospect of a small form factor build featuring the 7950X more possibility than a dream. At number 4. Intel Core i9-14900K. Sitting at the top of Intel's gaming CPU stack is the Core i9-14900K, one of the few chips out there capable of hitting 6 GHz clock speeds. It packs the usual makeup of 24 cores and 32 threads that have defined every Core i9 for the past 3 generations. The only other LGA 1700 processor capable of competing is the Core i9-13900KS, but the 14900K is essentially identical to the more expensive CPU. The Core i9-14900K is best suited for systems that serve both as a gaming rig and workstation, as its strengths are best realized in multi-core workloads. Just make sure you have a capable power supply and cooler to hand, as it'll guzzle electricity like nobody's business. At number 5. Intel Core i5-13400F. If you want to get a decent gaming CPU on a tight budget, but also want a bit of a boost in multi-threaded work such as video encoding and rendering, the Core i5-13400F is a solid candidate. It features 6 of Intel's latest Raptor Lake P cores and a 4.6 GHz boost clock, making it a capable processor for gaming, but it also has an added bonus over the 12400F. Unlike its predecessor, the 13400F also has 4 of Intel's low-power E-cores under its heat spreader, giving you a total of 10 cores, which gives it a boost in multi-threaded software. It's an ideal choice for anyone who does more than just game with their system but doesn't have a huge amount of money to spend. Like the 12400F, this chip doesn't have a K in its model name, which means it can't officially be overclocked by changing the multiplier, and the F means it doesn't have an integrated GPU either. However, the latter enables you to save some money if you're buying a dedicated graphics card anyway. You won't need an enormously powerful AIO cooler to keep this CPU in check either, and if you buy the retail version you'll even get an adequate Intel stock air cooler included in the box.